Hello again. Hello, hello, hello. Right, the President of the United States has been killed in paradise. That is neither news nor a political joke, but the premise for our next show. It's also not really a spoiler, as it happens within the first few minutes of the show. I should have said, has anyone seen Paradise? Fantastic, because we're going to spoil a fair bit of it, I promise. Anyway, this show is set in a lovely and serene community. It looks beautiful, fantastic diner, lovely bar, inhabited by some of the world's most prominent individuals. However, this tranquility and white picket fence dream explodes when the president is murdered and a Secret Service agent begins an investigation. Things start to unravel from there, and Paradise might not be exactly what it appears. Joining us today are stars Sterling K. Brown, who also exec produces, and James Marsden. Well, how are you, man? Look, before we get into it, they're evidently rabid for you both, but let's watch a clip.
Let's watch a clip. Let's do it.
Hey, whoa, 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 easy. You just got a surgery.
So,
Your wife's on the way. Had trouble reaching her.
are you all right?
I'm fine. You tackle like a high school sophomore, by the way. Oh, I'll admit, when I saw all that blood, I thought I'd been Christian Laettner. Oh, don't do this to me. Christian Laettner, Duke. Man, he made the most famous college basketball shot of all time against us in the tournament. Single-handedly killed me and every other Kentucky Wildcat fan that day. Yeah, I thought I'd been Laettner. But then, that was a hell of a block shot, Agent Collins. Is there anything I can do for you?
I don't know. Maybe cool it with the basketball metaphors?
Well, look at you. Good for you, Xavier. Kind of funny when you're wounded.
I love that scene. I really do. I was like, the first time they showed us that scene, I was like, oh, we love each other. It's so cool.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
And Duke got theirs last night. I don't know if anybody watched that.
Duke did.
It came back for them.
We could do 15 minutes on college basketball if you like.
Yeah.
It is the
tournament.
Final Four right now.
Yeah. Now it's the finals.
It was the hardest acting for me, acting like I didn't know anything he was talking about. I was like, yeah, I know that. I
It was
remember.
the hardest acting for me to act like I knew anything about it.
There you go. It's flipped. We
There
flipped.
you go. There you go. We'll get into that relationship because there's a core part of the show. But starting off, this show was written by Dan Fogelman, a man you know rather well, Sterling. Evidently, some This Is Us fans in the audience.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
When he sends you this script,
Yeah.
do you think, bloody hell, this guy's done it again? And when I say done it again, you know what I mean.
I do. No, because you're engaged in the script, and I got a chance to read the pilot for This Is Us and the pilot for Paradise. And each time you're like, oh, this is a cool little drama. I like this. Look at all these people. They're all 36 years old. They're going to connect, I'm sure, somehow. But like, yeah, it's just like people being 36. And they're like, this is my family? I got white people in my family? And then you're reading Paradise, and you're like, oh, this is cool. Somebody killed the president. Wonder how that happened. Who we gonna find who it is? It's like, we living in a mountain? Like, it's all just sort of crazy, like how he gets you at the very end like that. Love it.
I think "We're living in a mountain" should have been the tagline.
Or the title. It could
Or
be
the title.
We living in a mountain.
So tell us about Xavier Collins. So Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
He has this slightly unusual relationship with his protectee, played by James, President Cal Bradford. Mm-hmm. As we saw in that clip, he's sort of a bit... Does he like him? We're not sure.
What?
Sometimes for good reasons,
I think
as we get into.
in that clip, he likes him very, very much. Because it's before... Has everybody watched the show? Okay. It's always such a weird thing to talk about because you don't want to give stuff away. But I think he blames him, and you guys can decide, because most people kind of side with Cal on this one, blames him for the fact that he's no longer with his wife and that his wife didn't make it into the mountain with him, right? Then you get to episode 7, and most people are like, man, why you hating on him? He tried everything he could. He trying to save the world. But I think because he made a promise and he wasn't able to follow through on this promise, Xavier for the past 3 years is a man living without the best part of himself, without his wife, and so he blames. It's human nature. Instead of blaming a situation, we need to blame someone, and so he blames Cal.
You looked a bit quizzical when he said that everyone's siding with you. I'm not sure you're getting that same reaction, are you?
Everyone's siding with me? I don't. I wish I'd heard those voices. Are they out there?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think so. I think most people have told me that's like, man, this is a good dude who's doing everything in his power to try to make the right choice.
But you're right. I did dance around it. I did play these games. You know, it's not so starkly black and white, which is what I liked about it, right? You know, it's nuances and shades of gray. Well, it is, though. It's like, you know, you could argue, if you're in Cal's camp there, that he did do everything in his power, that things escalated too quickly, and he was unable to, you know, make right on that promise. But also, I think that there was maybe a little bit of a little selfishness there, a little carelessness, and maybe not giving it the attention that he should have, especially with somebody that he cares about a great deal and has earned so much respect for. But that's what makes the show beautiful, is that there isn't, it isn't a clear cut, he's wrong, he's right. That's life. That's a mirror of life. And
my wife blames me. My actual wife, when she sees me kiss my TV wife and say, don't go, she's like, I'm gonna need more than a kiss. If the world is coming to an end, I need you to nug, like pull your ear, do something other than kiss me and say, don't go. She's like, hold me down.
Yeah. Well, then, how is that? That sounds nice.
Maybe. It's 19 years of marriage. That's how we get down. We hold it down.
And Cal doesn't ever really seem like he wanted to be president. We find out in later episodes as to why he might have sort of got into politics. But he seems like a good dude who just wants to rock out rather than necessarily save the free world.
Yeah, he is. I think that's woven into his DNA, that he is a fun-loving guy who wants to connect with people. And I think part of that is, yes, he's reluctantly in this position. He was shoehorned into this lifestyle and this line of work by his overbearing father, and I think that his exterior of being this sort of shoot from the hip, fun, let's go have a beer president is maybe a little bit of a coping mechanism for him to hide the fact that he didn't have the spine to stand up against his father and really fight for what he believed in and what he wanted to do. I think I imagine him going to sleep every night and having those thoughts circulate in his head about that regret. But I do think he's a good human being who, at his very best, tries to do the very best for people around him. And so if he's in this position of this, the President of the United States, he's going to make the best of it that he can with his, with his, however he's, what am I trying to say? He's not really, he's not qualified for the job, and I don't feel qualified to be right here right now.
Let's talk about music for a second. He's clearly a music guy. He's named his son after a Pearl Jam song. He seems like a Guns N' Roses fan. Are we surprised he hasn't had Paradise City on his mix CD?
Yeah, that would have been, I guess that would have been appropriate, wouldn't it have? But we decided to go Phil Collins there. I mean, yes, Dan and I are...
There was a rights issue.
Fair enough.
See, I went presidential and I started to dance around the
There's a rights issue. It's all good.
Sterling goes right for it.
We pivoted.
Sterling, you play alongside Julianne Nicholson in many of the show's key scenes. She plays Sinatra.
Yes, wonderfully.
wonderfully.
Sinatra wonderfully. Yeah, please give it up
Yeah,
for her.
exactly.
She's
This
awesome.
billionaire who sort of runs the bunker, and Xavier doesn't trust her. What was it like? What was it like working with Julianne? And talk about that character, because it's not quite clear whether she's evil or pragmatic.
Xavier hates her, so that's clear. Sterling loves Julianne. And I've met her at the Emmys the year that she won for Mayor of Easttown. And I saw her after she had picked up her Emmy, and I was like, can I give you a hug? And she was like, yeah, I'll take a hug. And we hugged it out. And so she became available for this role, and it was absolutely wonderful. I have a huge acting crush on this woman, and she made it easy for me to hate her. Which is what you want from that villain, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think like even the audience would say, or people would tell me sometimes after episode 7, they're like, you should at least shot her in the knee or something. Like, give her a little pew, 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 pew. She deserved a little pew. If she gonna take your daughter, gonna dangle your wife in front of your face like that, give her a little pew, pew. But she was absolutely wonderful in her commitment to it. And I think also having episode 2 sort of showing her backstory and the sense of loss that she was coming to that led her to build this place in the first place. Hopefully we'll have a payoff later on, because Dan doesn't like anybody to be purely evil or purely good. So we'll see how people feel about her when we get to the end of season 2.
Okay, good. The New Yorker called this show Manna for the Moment, and I think that really sums up the fact that I don't necessarily know if it was intentional, but it's quite timely. You talk about issues with, obviously, the presidency and billionaires and climate change. There's something in this right now that this...
Is there something going on that reflects that?
There's a couple of things. How is it about, while you're, obviously this is a work of fiction, but you're in a timely moment?
I guess it's good for the show.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's good for anything else. He said he came up with the idea for the show 10 years ago. So it was completely and totally disconnected from anything that's happening in our world today. But I guess things were moving in that direction. I think there is a very sort of interesting entanglement of the corporate and the government, and trying to figure out exactly, should it be that way? Is there a desire that we need to sort of extricate those things from one another so that there's a separation of church and state, so to speak? And then I think even more heartbreaking, like the climate change thing that we talk about in the show, and the fires that just happened, like right as we were debuting the show to the world. So it's a work of fiction. We want to entertain people, but I think any good piece of entertainment also gives you something to think about in terms of the world in which you inhabit. And so hopefully people say to themselves in some small way, how can I make this place better for myself? How can I make it better for the people who come after me? Both with regards to how it is structured governmentally and how we take care of it. So hopefully it does that.
Yeah. You're an exec producer on this. How does that... What does that entail? How does it, you sort of get yourself sort of into the weeds, right?
I do make more money now. It's taking a minute, folks, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
But number 1 on the call sheet now.
Number 1 on the call sheet. Good documentary, by the way. Like getting to say like, oh, James wants to come play with us. What do you think about that? Like, please and thank you. Like, I've loved this dude for such a long time, and especially after jury duty.
Yeah.
Where the man like makes me pee on myself, just trickle, just trickles of urine drip out as it's going down, and then to have a role that I knew was going to be rich and layered and fun, that he could bring his loveliness to, because he's a warm and likable human being, but also have these layers. Like, I don't think I've seen this part of you on screen before. I think James kills it, right? So to be able to like sign off on the cast and whatnot, and just the writers and the directors that we got a chance to bring in as well. John and Glenn, who directed the pilot of This Is Us. They directed the pilot of this 1 and 2, and then they directed 7 and 8 as well. So to be able to say, like, yes, bring these people in, like to just have some level of say on the ingredients that go into the soup, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's a good soup.
I love you, brother.
I love you too, man. I do.
We had the best time. We really did, and it was just. I mean, I'm gonna go after him now. You just realize how much more you have in the tank creatively, all of it on set when you're working with an actor like this, who can sit and say nothing, and no one's looking at anybody but him. And it's just like, I loved working with you. And I know actors sit up here and talk about that all the time. Oh, they're so great on set. But we had the best time because we laughed our asses off and had a great time. And then when it got real, it got really real. And these scenes just went whoosh, off the page. And it's largely due to this man right here. So thanks for having me on board.
The show's been renewed for a second season.
Yes, yes, we have.
So
Thank you.
Again, spoiling it a little bit, we see your character literally about to take off in the finale.
That's right.
What does America look like in season 2? Does Xavier get what he's looking for?
That's a great question.
Ruin it
Tune
for
in
us.
to season 2.
Ruin it for us.
There will be an exploration of the world outside of the bunker and what has transpired over the past 3 years. So you'll get a chance to see some things up close and personal. It's not the same. We were able to plan with infrastructure and money. They were not, so you'll see the difference between those two things. We'll find out whether or not his wife is alive. Was she alive at the course of that tape? Has she survived up until that point, et cetera? And I'll say this. You still get a chance to find out what's going on in the bunker, because last we saw it, Sinatra took a little pew-pew to the tummy because crazy-ass Jane just needed her weed.
He needed the weed.
So we get to see what Crazy Jane is going on with. The Xavier's kids okay? Is the black lady taking care of them, or are they just running the streets by themselves? You get a chance to see a little bit of everything. And then I'll say this much, then the worlds will converge, and things get interesting.
James, are we in season 2?
What's that? Sorry, what?
Did we see any of Cal Bradford in season 2?
Sorry, I'm a trifle deaf in this ear.
Well, Sterling said yes, and he's the exec producer, so we're going to take that as a yes.
Well, he's laying on the floor, bleeding out. I'm not sure.
It's usually going to be in flashback.
I hope so.
It's not in the future?
Because you're dead.
It's not in the future. We're not going mummy Cal Bradford?
No, if you watch This Is Us, we kill people and they still on the show the whole 6 years. It's all good.
Well, thank you for talking to us today about it. Please give it up for Sterling K. Brown and James Marsden.
Appreciate it. Thanks, dude.
Appreciate it. Thanks, James. Appreciate it.